Wait. I tricked you.
Okay, good trick. Say ta-da!
Hey YouTube! Today we're going to show you how to make this awesome dining table. Ta-da! Amazing!
So the first step is to cut the wood. I decided to use 2x8s not only for the tabletop, but the bench top as well. I'll be showing you how I laminated the pieces together to create one solid piece. I'm running the 2x8s through my table saw, cutting off about 1/4 inch on each side so the edges are nice and square. That way when you laminate the pieces together, it's nice and flush and you don't have any big gaps. Now that the wood's cut, the next step is to glue the pieces together. I'm starting out with the tabletop here. All you need are some clamps and some wood glue. Pipe clamps work best because they allow you to apply a significant amount of pressure, which ensures a proper wood glue contact. I used a 10-foot 3/4 inch black pipe from Home Depot and cut them in half to be 5 feet long. I'll put the Amazon link for the H-style pipe clamps in the description down below. I'm actually going to be showing you two different methods to do this. So on the bench, I won't be using pipe clamps, I'll just be using some pocket hole screws. So you're going to want to start out with a dry set just to get everything in place. You want to be prepared and have everything you need so the glue doesn't have too much time to set while you're setting up the clamps. Also, I recommend using these spacers so that some scrap wood on top of the clamps so it doesn't leave a damage or a dent on your project. You want to apply a liberal amount of glue, and I used a silicone brush to spread the glue, but you can also use your finger. Alright, so here's what it should look like after you have all the glue applied. You can see it's a nice thick layer there. So next step is I'm going to go ahead and lay all the pieces down and get ready to clamp everything together. I'm using the clamps vertically as well because I couldn't find all of my call boards. The wood usually doesn't sit flat. It has a tendency to lift in certain areas, so I'm doing this so that it keeps the table pretty flush. This makes sanding a lot easier after you're done. I'm just going through and applying even pressure across all of the clamps. You should normally get a little bit of a squeeze out, which is a good thing. Just taking my damp cloth and wiping off the excess glue. It's easier if you do this now, otherwise you're going to have to take a chisel after it dries. So I recommend wiping off the excess glue as soon as you can. So that right there, that you have the squeeze out, that looks really good. That 2x4 I have sitting on top was the call board. It's just covered in masking tape just to keep the board flat. After 24 hours, the glue is dry, so it's time to remove the clamps and cut the table to size. I was asked to make this 55 inches long, so I'll go ahead and show you how I did that. So here I'm just taking my combination square just to make sure I have a 90-degree angle, and I'm using my 4-foot level as a straight edge. I'll be clamping that down, and after that's ready, I'll just take my circular saw and cut off the excess piece. So now I'm moving on to the bench top. Again, instead of using pipe clamps, I'm using my Kreg pocket hole jig. Now I'm drilling every about 6 to 8 inches. This is nice. This is another method you can use if you don't own pipe clamps. So I also, by the way, I have a clamp version of this pocket hole jig as well, but that's good if you only have to drill maybe 1 or 2 holes. But for a project like this, this type of jig makes things a lot easier. So now I'm applying the glue just like we did with the tabletop. The only difference is instead of using pipe clamps, I'm using screws to hold the wood together. Same process, you allow the glue to dry for 24 hours. Some people remove the pocket hole screws. They say it's not necessary. Um, the wood glue bond is actually stronger than the screw itself, but I just left them in there. Now it's time for the dreaded sanding. I start out with 80 grit, then move on to 120, followed by 180, and I finish off with 220 grit. As long as you take your time, and yes, it takes a lot of time, it'll turn out amazingly smooth. So these metal legs came in from Amazon. The table legs and the bench legs, they match up together. They're actually nice and sturdy. They come with adjustable feet. The only problem that we had was the bench legs came with mounting hardware, but the table legs did not. No big deal though, I had some extra screws. To mount the legs, all you have to do is line them up carefully where you want them to be. Pre-drill the holes just so the wood doesn't split. Then go ahead and screw them down. This process is the same for the table and the bench. Now, wood generally is not going to be completely flat. You'll have certain areas that lift up. So what I did was I used a clamp to hold things down, and when I drive down the screws with my impact driver, it sucked the wood down to the metal legs, and it was nice and flush. After I put everything together, I ended up adding some wood filler to certain spots. So I did one more pass at 220 grit so that it's ready for stain and sealer. If you guys are interested in the legs, I'll go ahead and add the Amazon link in the description as well. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. It really helps out the channel. Hope you guys all have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.